about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
It was a choice made up to me to have my children and not be like the other black people who get to have children out of wedlock. We don't get to have those kind of conversations. The conversations we get to have is how we are responsible for fully funding our schools so all of our children have the opportunity.
Byron Donalds delivers a powerful and unapologetic takedown of Ilhan Omar in Congress, calling out her anti-American remarks and exposing the hypocrisy of the far left. In this video, we break down the heated exchange and why it matters for every patriot who still believes in the greatness of America.
Order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order. Down here. Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes. You'll have 5 minutes.
You'll have my 5 minutes. A point of order.
No, you're out of order. You're out of order, Mr. Goldman.
I have a point of order.
When your time is,
I
you will
asked
be
to
recognized.
introduce
Chair
something by
recognizes
unanimous
Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes.
Is it being introduced?
Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes. Byron, it's your
Chairman,
time.
the rules require you
Thank
to
you,
recognize
Mr. Chairman.
me.
No.
Yes, for a point of order, they absolutely do.
Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds.
The motion.
And is Mr. Donalds' time ticking too?
Order.
No,
Chair
Mr. Donald's
recognizes
time
Mr.
is not going to take. Actually, Mr. Chairman, I request this clock be set back to 5 minutes.
Set
we
the clock back to 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, can I just make a parliamentary inquiry then? Are we not to make points of order on either side during
You
the
keep
questioning?
speaking about no evidence. Why don't you all just listen and
I'm
learn?
trying to introduce evidence.
You've already introduced. You've already had your
Is it in?
share of evidence.
Are you
Now,
admitting
Mr. Donalds, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dubinsky, I want to come to you quickly. A lot of talk about evidence. On the screens in the room, we have an organizational chart from the IRS investigative team that was looking into the business practices of Hunter Biden and his associates. This org chart is from 2014. Now, Mr. Dubinsky, when my former life, I was in community banking, and I'm comfortable with looking at organizational charts. When I first saw this chart, the first thing I thought about was a real estate holding company or a developer, and this is not to demean developers in the great East State of America, but developers typically have multiple companies that float with various business interests and business lines. But the funny thing is that in the business dealings of Hunter Biden, there is no real estate, none at all. So, Mr. Dubinsky, in your professional experience, looking at this organizational chart of business structure, what do you see here?
I see a very complicated structure of entities that are interrelated and would give me concern. If I were an investigator, I would want to know what's going on in these entities, who's behind them, how's the money moving between them, and what is the substance of the transactions? What's really going on here?
Mr. Dubinsky, do you think it's in the interest of this committee that is now in an inquiry phase to actually find out all of the flow of money between these entities and what the purpose was?
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. For my colleagues on the other side, we're going to start talking evidence now. This is now a slide of the organizational chart of the Hunter Biden business companies and with associates from 2018, from the same IRS investigators who were broke down the business structure in 2014. Does this slide cause you the same concern, Mr. Dubinsky?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now let's talk about some more. Actually, one point I want to make on this. Ladies and gentlemen, and I know it's kind of small, so I would love to submit, I will submit all this for the record. I would love my colleagues on the other side to see this. In 2014, one of the key owners was Devin Archer, who did testify, was under deposition under oath by the Oversight Committee. In 2018, Devin Archer is no longer listed, but his wife, Krista Archer, is now listed. Mr. Dubinsky, when you see a situation where ownership interest moves from one spouse to the other, is that a concern of some level of fraud potentially?
I would call it a red flag. That's something I would look at and again, try to get to the bottom of what happened there. Was it just transferred? Was there money behind it? What was going on? Okay,
thank you. Next slide. Now, this is to a text message. This is a text message between, it's going to Naomi Biden. That's what this one is. Hold on, let me get my stuff back. There we go. Sorry. This is the WhatsApp text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. In this text message, it clearly says, anyway, we can talk later, but you've been drawn into something purely for the purpose of protecting Dad. This is between Hunter Biden and Jim Biden. Last time I checked, the father of Jim Biden and Joe Biden is now passed away. So I'm assuming this is Hunter Biden saying to Jim Biden, the president's brother, that you've been brought in this for the sole purpose of protecting dad. Miss O'Connor, do you think that this text message would lead this committee to get further information about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
Yes.
Thank you. Next slide, please. This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Naomi Biden. And this one is a famous one. Everybody knows this one. This is a famous one that says, I hope you all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Mr. Dubinsky, if you saw a text message like this in a potential money laundering operation or a potential pay-for-play operation, would you be looking for information related to money going from son to father?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Thank you. Next slide. Oh, this is a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is from 2018. This is about 4 months before Joe Biden launched his campaign for president of the United States. December 2018.
The highlight that we are unable to save people from dying because they don't have health care. It's not because of lack of love that you were able to finish college because you got help with childcare. Love has nothing to do with this. And if you want to bring love into this, you got to bring radical love. Because radical love means that we radically love every single person within our communities to make sure that we are providing for them the basic rights as humans. That's what love is. And that's the godly thing to do. So if we want to talk about faith, we also have to remember that we can't pray our problems away. Exactly. You can't pray for your children to be fed, so you're not crying because they're crying and they can't go to bed. You cannot pray for your medical bills to disappear. You cannot pray for the mold to stop poisoning your children in the classrooms. The other thing that frustrates me is people who have experienced poverty, who have gotten the straps for their bootstraps, who sit and talk about how we shouldn't do anything for the next person. See, as someone who knows severe poverty, I lived in a refugee camp, on the floor, no water, nothing. And I hear somebody say here in the United States, they're fine with their grandparents not having running water? And that's supposed to be okay? Or we hear someone say, it was a choice made up to me to have my children and not be like the other black people who get to have children out of wedlock. We don't get to have those kind of conversations. The conversations we get to have is how we are responsible for fully funding our schools so all of our children have the opportunities we have as we sit in this room. We get to talk about the kind of opportunities we have as government to make sure health care is provided to everybody so that we don't have people dying in the United States because they can't afford insulin. The conversation we get to have is making sure that there are no children going to sleep hungry or being shamed in classrooms and in lunchrooms because their families don't have enough money to pay for their lunch. The conversation we get to have about the kind of poverty we have in this country is the kind of poverty that says it is okay for us to take photo pictures with veterans and be okay with the fact that they're sleeping on the streets here in the United States. So as an immigrant, as someone who came to this country, hearing about American exceptionalism and prosperity, I am appalled that we get to sit here and have conversations as Americans about being the most charitable country in the world and not being charitable enough to house our homeless, feed our children, care for our veterans. What is charitable about that? So I ask you, the kind of systematic barriers that exist in prosperity, that's the conversation we should be having. And so I want you guys to, for the little bit of time that I have, to talk about the systematic barriers that exist in creating prosperity.
Welcome back to the screen, the channel that tells it like it is. No filters, no fake news, and no political correctness. If you're tired of watching the mainstream media twist every story to fit their left-wing narrative, then you're in the right place. Before we get into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss when we expose the truth the media refuses to tell. Now let's talk about what just went down in Congress. Byron Donalds absolutely taking down Ilhan Omar. Folks, it was one of those moments you could feel the air shift in the room. Donalds wasn't just making a point, he was making a statement. He called her out with facts, logic, and that firm tone that said, "We're done playing games." Ilhan Omar, as usual, tried to spin her talking points, painting America as the villain, throwing around words like injustice and discrimination, the same tired rhetoric she's been peddling since she got into office. But this time, Donalds wasn't having it. He came armed with receipts, with truth, and with conviction. He reminded everyone in that room what it means to actually stand up for America, not apologize for it. You could see it in Omar's face. She didn't expect to be challenged like that. She's used to Democrats running cover for her, used to the media spinning her words to make her look like a victim. But Byron Donalds didn't back down. He pressed her, held her accountable, and made it clear that anti-American rhetoric has no place in the halls of Congress. This is what leadership looks like. This is what courage sounds like. We need more Byron Donalds and fewer Ilhan Omars in Washington. We need people who actually love this country, who are proud of its values, and who are willing to defend it, not people who constantly tear it down to score political points. Watching that exchange, I couldn't help but think, this is the fight we're in right now. It's not just about policy, it's about who we are as a nation. The left wants to rewrite history, redefine morality, and destroy everything that makes America strong. But patriots like Byron Donalds remind us that there's still a backbone in Congress, still people willing to stand up and say enough is enough. So, to everyone watching, this is your reminder. Elections matter. The people we put in office matter. Because every time someone like Ilhan Omar gets a platform, it's another opportunity for her to undermine the country that gave her everything. And every time someone like Byron Donalds speaks up, it's a reminder that America is still worth fighting for. If you're proud of what Byron Donalds did today, if you believe in holding politicians accountable no matter who they are, make sure you share this video. Let's get the truth out there. Subscribe to the screen, because we're not slowing down. We're going to keep exposing the hypocrisy, the lies, and the corruption, one clip at a time. This is the screen, where patriots get the truth. Stay loud, stay proud, and I'll see you in the next one.